Hello everybody, this is Stephen Alson, and today I am joined by this guy for the full-time review and Manchester United.
I don't know what I'm smiling for today. I don't know why I'm smiling.
I think we're over it. Manchester United lost 1-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge in the FA Cup, ending a cup run under Jose Mourinho without a trophy, which is different for us. It's the first time we've done that under Jose Mourinho. The game itself, you know what I'm going to say. It was really evenly matched, actually a really enjoyable game to watch if you can watch it as a semi-neutral. Obviously I'm not neutral, but I think it was a really good battle. It was an intriguing game. It was interesting to watch Manchester United try and adapt to this new system that Jose was trying for that one game, and I do wonder how long he'd been thinking about that, how long he'd been maybe working on that in training, because he was implementing it really well. And you know what? It would have still been a difficult game, but I think Manchester United was definitely on the cards for getting something out of it, especially with Mkhitaryan still on the pitch, if we'd have kept 11 players on. Now for me, the first one's not a foul. I don't know about you. I don't think the first one was a foul. He stands his ground and he braces himself for the contact of Hazard coming into him. That's not a foul. If you want to give it a foul, I could maybe understand it, but it's certainly not a yellow card. Then he goes and trips him. An accumulation of fouls, when does that get passed around amongst teammates? That's ridiculous. That doesn't usually happen.
The referee basically made up his own rules, didn't he?
Yeah.
Basically, he made up his own rules. Now, I could totally understand if Ander Herrera was with Phil Jones and Smalling and he was privy to that conversation. When the referee said, if you foul Hazard again, you're going to get yellow card. It's still wrong to say it, but if he was part of that conversation, then I can totally understand it. But Herrera was what, a second after it?
Yeah, it was laughable, man.
But it was only just a foul.
So this is not a second yellow card Ander Herrera's got this season, where actually he didn't do anything. The one he got earlier in the season, he got it for falling over, and it was a second yellow, get yourself off. That's why he's now got a 2-match ban, because it was his second nonsense red card of the season, and that was really where the game hinged. The game hinged on the fact that Ander Herrera went off. Manchester United needed to now be well more defensive to cope with what admittedly is a fantastic Chelsea side. Eden Hazard was mint yesterday. I'm not going to go too overboard on him. This is a United channel and that's how it's going to stay. But Eden Hazard was very difficult to play against yesterday, and ultimately was the guy that made the difference for me for that Chelsea team. Kante was also excellent. We could really do it. I mean, we did try and buy him in the summer.
Our game plan changed so much. Once that red card went off, I was speaking to you earlier about it. We had Rashford and Mickey that were cutting out the passes from the back.
Really well.
So they had to go long every single time. And then once Mkhitaryan had gone off with the red card and all that, and that got shuffled around, Rashford was cutting out 3 guys. They could just walk out with the ball. It was too easy for them at the back then. I really did feel sorry for Rashford. Could have and should have scored in the second half, but that was the only opportunity he had all game. He was fighting a losing battle yesterday. And I do, in my review for my channel, I said after the game, we should have gone for it a little bit more. Because it was a cup game. Like, you go for it,
the
and
last 10 minutes
you can concede 2 or 3, but we didn't. And I kind of feel, one, that's because Jose is a little bit, he'd rather lose 1-0 than lose 4-0. And secondly, I think it's because of how good Chelsea were. We just have to be honest with that. Yeah. They were very, very good, and they showed exactly why. You also didn't have that game changer ready on the bench. If you bring Mata on, is he going to change a game? Not really. Slow. He's not really that kind of guy. You didn't really have an impact player that you had. Marshall. Yeah, it might have been great for Marshall. There was several players that we've got in the squad that weren't available or weren't selected that might have come and done something, but ultimately, the team selection at the time, I was happy with Jose's selection at the start, roughly. You know, I was happy with the tactics and all of that sort of stuff, but ultimately it wasn't to be. And do you know what? Not that many Reds are that bothered about going out of the FA Cup. Jose himself. I am. No.
I was like, not that many. Didn't say all.
I am.
I didn't say all.
I'm gutted. I am. I'm genuinely gutted.
I'm really not. I haven't. Maybe I've made peace with it when we saw the draw, and I thought draw away to Chelsea, probably not.
See, like Jose Mourinho, after 30 odd minutes, he felt like we're winning this game 1-0 today. I had that feeling. I genuinely had that feeling, and. It's Michael Oliver. I can't swear, just get out.
So anyway, the Chelsea fans yesterday was being a little bit disrespectful for a man that has basically dragged them out of being a glorified Newcastle into a team that now sits at the top table. Obviously, Roman Abramovich's oil money has had a lot to do with that, but Jose Mourinho is the reason why Chelsea sit at that top table in world football. They wouldn't have won a title since the 50s, right? You're talking brass rubbings of the footage of them actually winning something until Jose Mourinho came. And like he says in the press conference, until someone wins 4 titles, I'm the number 1. Judas. The Judas is number 1. Check this out from the press conference.
You know, they can call what they want. I am a professional. I defend my club. and until the moment they have a manager that wins 4 Premier Leagues for them, I'm the number 1. When they have somebody that wins 4 Premier Leagues for them, I become number 2. But until this moment, Judas is number 1.
What Jose said was absolutely bang on. He is their best manager, possibly the greatest manager in their history. And for the way some of them treated him, we didn't even treat David Moyes like that when he came back to Manchester United. And he won nothing except a Charity Shield at Manchester United. We're going to come to you guys in the comments. Adam's going to read them out in a second. So get your thoughts on what Jose said, the Chelsea fans and all that sort of stuff, and we'll read some out. Have you got any?
Yeah, the Jays is thinking something that I've been thinking as well, and there's a lot of overreaction to Paul Pogba's performance yesterday, as you'd always expect. And the Jays, with AA, says you can play well without actually scoring or assisting. Pogba has been playing well for months, and that's bang on. I think Pogba's played, take a percentage, 70% of the time he's been fine for Manchester United. He has been poor in some games. He has let some games pass him by. And I felt yesterday he could have been a little bit more aggressive in his defensive play. But we have not bought him for his defensive abilities. And when we have 25-30% of the football, 25-30% of the possession, how do you expect one of our key flair players, attacking players, to do anything with
That's
it?
what he is. He's a flair player. He's a flair player, and when the time comes to dig, maybe that's the side of his game that he can definitely work on. But a flair player, like if you've watched what he did at Juventus, and he did it surrounded by a wonderful midfield, we're building that midfield around Paul Pogba. The amount of outrage that I see at Paul Pogba's fee is nothing. Oh, it's everything, and I see no one moaning about the 1.2 billion that the Glazers have taken out of the club. If you want to complain about money coming out of the club, that's where you need to start focusing on it. Not on a young lad who, do you know what? He's not lit the world up. He hasn't. He's probably been just above average for the whole season. Really consistent. He's not lit the world up. He's certainly not been shit, as a lot of people have said. So I think the overreaction to Pogba is a massive, massive overreaction. Have you got any more?
Yeah. Classless chavs, as always, says King Jason. I agree with that. Their Chavs fans haven't got any class up there. Why didn't we buy Kante? You can replace Carrick. Anurag says that. And listen. Loads of people have been talking about Kante, Pogba. You go ask Antonio Conte if he wants to swap. Guarantee he says yes.
And also, this is comparing apples and oranges. We said this a second ago, didn't we, off air? But we said, do you remember when people was comparing Tevez and Berbatov because Tevez runs around all the time? Ultimately, Berbatov's that classier footballer, but you need to be on top in a game to really take advantage of him. If you're a team struggling, if you're a team fighting, Tevez is your man. But if you're a team that's on top and doing stuff, but Berbatov's your man, and I think Pogba's a little bit similar to that as well.
That one run from Rashford was mesmerising. I'm not going to try and read out that.
He's got that in his locker.
Loved how Mourinho went out of his way to call out Pogba's performance, and surely there is so much more to come from him, says Rahul. Now, Jose Mourinho said he was the best player on the park. He wasn't. But I love that he's rushed to his defence. I also love that at Stamford Bridge,
maybe he's not talking about performance. Maybe he's talking about ability.
That's true. Go on then.
Right, let's see someone else. Let's talk about ability, and maybe, this is more middle ability. Let's have a look what Statman Dave's going to say.
3-point review from Statman Dave from outside Stamford Bridge. Manchester United losing 1-0 in the FA Cup. Well, first up, we've got to talk about the referee. A disgraceful decision. A poor decision. A classless decision. Sending off Ander Herrera for a second bookable defence. He lost the game. He lost the management of the game there. He threw it away. He threw away the tie. It was such a competitive game with Ander Herrera on the pitch. And unfortunately, the referee killed it for Manchester United. United looked so good defensively when he was on the pitch. They went with a back six, it looked like, with 2 in central midfield, 2 up top. It was a perfect performance from Jose Mourinho. And United looked like they could have broken on Chelsea. They could have won that game. But unfortunately, the referee absolutely killed it for United. I'm annoyed. You're annoyed. Maybe we all tweet at the FA saying you are very silly. You are silly guys. But anyway, moving on to let's talk some more positive stuff. I thought defensively United was so good. I thought Chelsea didn't trouble United. The one moment that the goal that they scored was a little bit of a lapse of concentration. Someone should have stepped out of that midfield, stepped out of that defence and closed down the shot. But that's asking a lot. Rojo, I thought, played very, very well. Phil Jones did a perfect man-to-man job on Eden Hazard. Something that Phil Jones has done before. He did it on Gareth Bale. And now he's done it on Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard had a quiet game. If it wasn't Phil Jones who was on him as I drifted across the pitch. Marcus Rojo picked him up and did so well in defensive sense. In terms of Marcus Rojo, made 9 tackles in the game. That was more than any other player on the pitch, but he also won 6 of them. That is an incredible 66% of his tackles that he won. But for me, I'm not upset about this game. I think United are going the right way under Jose Mourinho. United look competitive. You could see that United performance in a Champions League semi-final. You could see that right now. But in terms of the big ones, let's talk Tony V. And why Tony V is the player of the season so far for Manchester United. Consistently performed. In the Premier League this season, only Kyle Walker has gotten more assists from right back. And you see that. He played right midfield against Chelsea, but was so good. He nullified Mikel Alonso. Something that he's done in his career. Ferguson putting up against someone like Ashley Young, and him doing so well. In terms of Valencia, he won 5 out of 5 of his tackles, 100%. Bang, 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 Valencia wins the ball. Game over. United win that game if they are not down to 10 men. And unfortunately, the refereeing decision has cost United another trip to Wembley. I'm upset. You guys are upset. But anyway, we've got Rostov on Thursday night. We'll beat Rostov. We'll go through to the next round of Europa League, probably come against someone like Lyon, someone like Roma. We'll beat them again and we'll lift the Europa League this season, making it into the Champions League. And unfortunately, that is more important than the FA Cup for Manchester United this year. The top 4 is such a competitive position in the Premier League this year, and Europa League is where United need to go. But anyway, I've been Dave, Statman Dave. If you want to check me out on Twitter, on YouTube, just type it in. We're in.
Cheers for that, Dave. If you like more of what Dave's saying, hit the description and go check out his channel. Give him a nice, fat, juicy subscribe. Dave was coming at us there from Stamford Bridge, where he recorded some of the fan cams last night. So head over there after you've finished watching this and check out the fan cams and the fan cam compilation from Stamford Bridge if you want to talk to yourself a little bit more with some of the opinion from the Reds after the game. Now, get your comments in, because we're going to be coming back to the comments as soon as we've heard from some more United fans. United on YouTube.
Hello, full-time Devils. Simon Preston here again from Reggae Boys Commentary.
We should be really proud of the boys. I think they did well. Really nice pressing from the start. We were in the game until the red card.
Very disappointing results. We're out of the FA Cup, but you know, we have to move ahead and we need to focus ahead of us, because we're now in 2 competitions left, the UEFA Europa League and the Premier League. You know, we haven't been to the last 8 of the UEFA Cup or UEFA Europa League since 1985, and this is an opportunity for us to get into the Champions League.
If he hadn't got sent off, we wouldn't have probably got smashed second half.
So we need to buckle down together, work hard and get through at the end of the tunnel. We have 2 opportunities, 2 doors are open for us to get into the Champions League next season, the Premier League and the UEFA Europa League. So 2 glorious opportunities that we have been to present to ourselves.
For me, it looked like we were just trying to keep the score down.
So come on United, let's get behind the team and the results will come.
Thank you to all those who sent us in the video. If you want to get involved in United on YouTube, again, hit the description, find out exactly how to do that, and we'll feature you next week if you're not talking absolute nonsense. Speaking of absolute nonsense, Adam's got some crackers here from you lot.
G Mina got a bone to pick with you. Says Mourinho has been terrible. I told you at the start of the season he's terrible. He will never win the PR with United. Moving on. Tevez was better than Berber, says Jerry Kelleher. Jerry.
Wow.
Jerry.
Wow.
Jerry.
Wow.
Jerry the Berry.
Wow. That's all I've got to say for that. Anyway, speaking of more utter nonsense, let's see what you guys managed to come up with the 3 word reviews from all of social media. Now, if you want to get involved in this, you can get involved on this a little bit later on. But let's go and see what you've had to say about yesterday's game. Take it away.
Where's my freeware review? Producer Chris, done me over.
What was it? You can't say it, you can't say it.
Fudge Michael Oliver.
Fudge Michael Oliver.
Change the DGE to a C and a K.
Hashtag Fudge Michael Oliver. Anyway, thank you guys for getting involved. Hit the description below if you want to send us a video.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done, man.
Why?
Because we're done.
On a tour.
Make sure you go and follow Dave. Give us a big fat like. Get your comments in below about Chelsea fans, about how much better Berbatov was than Tevez. Go and find that comment and absolutely ruin them. You got my permission. Do it. And it was Jose Mourinho never the right fit for Manchester United. You know what? I've been really impressed with him so far this season. Anyway, from him and from me, thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.
Go F yourself, Michael Oliver.